Hey everyone, just here, going back to a new Gumball review, and if you missed the last one, go and check it out. And we were reviewing a two-parter. Yeah, this is a special two-parter episode. First we're starting with the first part, but again, then I think this felt, I can't remember if this is like the first two-parter, like an actual two-parter, because the first part and second part are separate episodes of together. But still, I feel like we may have seen some before, but this may have not. Can't remember exactly. But this is a really good episode, either way. Good two-parter episode. And the first part starts with Nicole wondering why all these different things is happening that Gumball is doing. And yeah, we see Gumball is very little. Yeah. And it's just it's just Gumball. No Darwin or no NIEs. This was when Gumball was little. An origin. Which that's the episode's name and title. And we see these pictures of him in his high chair. And Richard and Nicole trying to sleep. And then them getting woken up. And they think that it's time to get a fish. Which, yeah, they get a fish for Gumball. And yeah, Richard and Nicole think they're finally have some time to relax. And Gumball is just chatting with his pet fish, which he names Darwin. Yeah, he does name Darwin. And yeah, Richard and Nicole find this really weird feeling going on, but they can finally relax though. And yeah, we see Nicole trying to hit her alarm, but it's just Gumball and bringing this cereal, which is on fire. And he says that Darwin is, yeah, Gumball thinks he's asleep, but yeah, it's actually dead. The fish is dead, and Richard goes to buy a new one, and then we see Gumball just jumping on the trampoline with the new Darwin, and then Richard trying to save it, and then it flushes down the toilet, and then he buys another fish, and then we get a third Darwin, and then Nicole and Gumball and Darwin go shopping, and then accidentally leave Darwin on top of the car. Don't you hate when that happens, when you accidentally leave something on the top of the car? And yeah, gets flushed down the toilet again. And then Richard gets this completely different fish. And of course colors it. Tries to color it, but flushes down the toilet. And then they go swimming. Flushes down the toilet. And yeah, Nicole just doing the wrong stuff. Putting in the wrong stuff. Getting flushed down the toilet. And you get the idea. When they're outside on a picnic, we see Leslie just kick Darwin, and yet again, same thing repeats. And yeah, apparently there's no more fishes now, so Richard doesn't know what to do now, and he hears this mysterious voice from this van, and all we see is these eyes. And yeah, Richard sees this aquarium fish tank, and we actually see Darwin, the actual Darwin that we know. And of course he buys it, and Gumball is talking with it, and he can actually say that can understand what Gumball is saying. And this funny effect that happens when they touch, and telling Darwin to pretend to be stupid so he can surprise his parents, and yeah, even turning to Richard, which is funny. And yeah, Richard thinks that Darwin is dead, even though he's just playing dead. And Gumball is trying to get Nicole, but she's trying to put it in a way that trying not to make Darwin sad. That, when the fishes were... Trying not to say that they were actually dead, but trying to put it in a way to not make make Gumball sad. And yeah, Richard is about to flush it down the toilet, and Gumball manages to save it. save dumb Darwin, and they take a picture and end up accidentally causing, or yeah, freaking out when Darwin says cheese as well, and they freak out, and he ends up flushing down the toilet. And that ends the first part. Then it cuts to be continued. And now we go to the second part, which ends it starts with Darwin getting into the ocean and has the help of these fishes. Which, yeah, Darwin is needing to do everything that he can to get back to Gumball. And yeah, Gumball is just not wanting to let go of Darwin. Which, yeah, it is hard for Nicole and Richard to just see Gumball like this. And yeah, Darwin just owned own land. And yeah, he's able to brave own land. And he starts traveling and starts drying up very quickly. Gets taken by an eagle and gets slammed into a rock. And yeah, Richard trying to make things better, which is not helping either. But Gumball is still believing that Darwin can make it. And Darwin grows legs. Yeah, he then grows legs. And he then eventually makes it back to Elmore. And yeah, we say sussy, a little sussy, and the mom and dad as well, which I found funny. And yeah, Gumball is still believing that Darwin will make it. And he just about makes it until the animal control comes and takes Darwin. And now he's, of course, locked with the other animals. And Gumball actually is having to move on from Darwin. But Darwin then realizes that he's standing right next to the keys. Yeah, which are in the back of the... Yeah, I don't know why they would put them there. Which, yeah, they all escape. And Darwin is trying to get them before they leave. Which, yeah, they're having to go get another Darwin. And Nicole sees this billboard for the Rainbow Factory coming soon. And she's saying, maybe I should get a job there. And Richard's like, no, once my thing goes in, I'll have a job. Which, funny enough, Nicole does end up working at the Rainbow Factory, right? In the current time. So he is working at the Rainbow Factory. And Richard just slacks off at home. So, just to think that. Just find that pretty cool. A little nod to that. And yeah, Darwin says that he is replaced. Which is kind of heartbreaking to say. But Gumball realizes that Darwin, the actual Darwin, is here. And there's only one Darwin. And they reunite. And we see them that he's got legs. And seeing Richard and Nicole. And he says... And he just says... And Darwin says, "Come, our Mr. Dad." Mr. Dad, or tells Richard Mr. Dad, calls Richard Mr. Dad, and of course, you know how he says Mrs. Mom to Nicole, and we actually see the shoes that Darwin wears. Yeah, it actually came from Gumball, and he actually lends Darwin his shoes, and he says that he'll never take them off, and when they're about to tell the story of how he managed to come back, they're both sound asleep while they drive off back home. A really good two-parter. And seeing the origin of Darwin as well. Because you always just wonder, though, like, what was the backstory, the history of Darwin? And this was a good origin of when the family first got Darwin. Definitely one of my favorite episodes of Season 4. But yeah, I'd like to know what y'all think. Let me know, guys.